Last year, I visited the French Polynesian Tahiti, and I went to a small, heart-shaped island called Moorea. Jonvello calls this island the feminine pole of the earth. I thought it had very special feminine energy. Could you elaborate on this? Do you have any insight to what is going on in this island energetically, and how it is helping the ascension process? Okay, so I'll just be one moment here. So I adjust the energies and bring Adronis through about this. One moment. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to the individual known as Nathan. In regards to your first question relating to the island that is referred to as Moorea, pertaining to the idea of Tahiti, this is basically an island that has been, shall we say, within your ancient culture for some time. That the idea of the ancient Tahitians, in that sense, would utilize the idea of, shall we say, particular rituals that would often represent the idea of what you would know as moon ceremonies, or also, in that sense, celebrations of the sun. The idea in regards to many of these particular rituals had, in that sense, a very strong feminine energy behind them. More so in the idea that the culture that was a part of that particular energy realized that this was sacred land. And this simply has to do with, shall we say, the intersecting of, shall we say, the ley lines across the particular area in question. And that this would represent the idea of the opening of a gateway, the opening of a particular portal that is, in that sense, encompassing much of the Moorea form of island together. And that its heart shape, in that sense, represents no form of, shall we say, coincidence, as this represents the idea of what you would refer to as much of the heart center pertaining to the east. And so it could simply be the idea that, yes, this could be referred to as a pole in that sense, but again, it represented the idea of very heightening feminine worship and representing the idea of many different ceremonies, again, in togetherness, with the idea of your moon, with the idea of your sun, with the idea of the stars, that connected together and in that sense is in conjunction with certain forms of transits at certain particular areas of the year, as you would understand it. Through the idea of the moving of the transits of the planets together, intersects in the idea of what you would know as a polar conjunction. And this therefore would represent the idea of the effect of the island, that it is in that sense being shined upon through the idea of highly magnetic fields that would be in representation to, shall we say, your connections with the ethers, the connections to the heavens, the connections to spirit. And this would therefore represent the idea of, shall we say, the heightening of the feminine energy. And that through the visitation of the island, that when one is able to embark upon it and being able to work together in ceremony with those who are also inhabited upon the island, noticing the idea of the enrichment of energy. It may even seem very similar to the idea of standing within the vortex often created through the idea of a large pyramid. And again, this represents the idea of a prism effect. The prism effect therefore represents the idea of the portal of the vortex that is contained in conjunction, harmonically, with your planet contained in this particular area of Moorea, and being able to, in that sense, share in the wealth of the energy that is, in that sense, much of the heart center of the island, which it does hold together through the idea of the higher feminine principle. And so, yes, we would agree in regards to this statement, understanding that there is a high feminine energy, a high integration between the physical and the spiritual worlds, as it were, representing the alignment of this particular island contained within your region of Tahiti. We thank you.